Bridezilla got arrested, and her wedding was canceled on the spot. I, 28F, used to be best friends with Rachel. We met during our sophomore year of college. She was loud, funny, and had this chaotic charm that pulled people in like a magnet. We bonded over our terrible intro to statistics professor, toxic ex-boyfriends, and our shared love of greasy late-night diner food. Back then, we'd talk about our future weddings like most 20-somethings do. A little naive, a little dreamy. I never imagined hers would play out like a scene from a true crime documentary. After college, we both settled into stable jobs in nearby cities. Though we weren't roommates anymore, we stayed close, weekly FaceTime calls, brunch dates, weekend getaways. When Rachel got engaged to Daniel, her boyfriend of 4 years, I was genuinely thrilled. He was calm, stable, and had the patience of a monk, which, in hindsight, might have been a red flag, considering how much chaos Rachel seemed to attract. But after the engagement, something in her changed. And I don't mean the cute, excited kind of change, I mean full-blown obsession. Rachel transformed overnight. Her Instagram bio was updated within hours. Bride-to-be manifesting. My dream wedding. She started referring to herself as the bride, not just jokingly, but in full seriousness. She'd say things like, "The bride requires silence while picking colors," or "The bride doesn't lift chairs, she lifts expectations." At first it was funny. We thought she was being over the top on purpose. But then came the spreadsheets. Multiple spreadsheets. There were tabs for guest meal preferences, dress fittings, makeup trial notes, emotional support tiers, astrological seating compatibility, and even an Instagram caption strategy for how her friends should post about her bridal journey. She even sent us a tone guide for our speeches at the reception. It wasn't just detailed, it was controlling. We quickly realized Rachel was becoming a tyrant. She demanded her bridesmaids, myself included, spend $500 on custom-made gowns from an obscure online boutique she found through an influencer's Pinterest board. Kayla, one of the sweetest and most reasonable in the group, politely said she couldn't swing that amount. Rachel removed her from the wedding party within the hour, in the group chat, publicly. She followed it up with, "If you can't invest in me, you don't deserve to benefit from my glow-up." I should have walked away that night. But the next day came, and somehow we all showed up. The wedding day was chaos from the start. Rachel arrived over 2 hours late, cursing because the weather wasn't filtered enough. She hated the flowers, the aisle runner, the chairs. She screamed at the florist and ripped her bouquet apart, hurling it across the room. Her mom looked pale and defeated. Daniel, poor Daniel, was pacing, eyes hollow and hands trembling. Just as the officiant was preparing to start, 2 police officers walked into the venue. I'll never forget the way everyone went dead silent. Some guests whispered that it was a surprise performance or prank. But it wasn't. The officers walked straight up to Rachel, calm, serious. They asked her to step outside. She refused. She snapped, "This is my wedding." "You don't interrupt a wedding." One officer gently placed his hand on her elbow to guide her aside. And she screamed, "Don't touch me, pig." The gasp that echoed through the room was louder than the DJ's speakers. Then, in front of 80 guests, she slapped the officer's hand away and started yelling, "You're all jealous. Every one of you. You wanted me to fail." The other officer moved in and read her rights. Apparently, the photographer had filed an assault report the night before, and a warrant had been issued that morning. Rachel, in her full bridal gown and veil, screamed bloody murder. She accused the bridesmaids of betrayal, her own mother of manifesting negativity. She even called Daniel a weak coward as she was being handcuffed. When she was escorted down the aisle, not to a groom, but to a squad car, and she tripped. Her veil caught on a chair. She fell face first. Someone was recording. Her mom fainted. Daniel walked out the side door and disappeared. The wedding was officially canceled right there. Vendors began packing up. Guests whispered in confusion. A few people cried. The DJ tried to play something light to drown out the awkward silence, but it just made things worse. We were all frozen in disbelief. I helped an elderly guest to their car and then stood outside for 20 minutes, just staring at the venue's entryway, like I had just woken up from a fever dream. Later that night, Rachel posted a rambling Instagram story blaming toxic bridesmaids, anti-feminist law enforcement, and bad spiritual alignment for ruining her big day. She said she was going to host a new ceremony in a spiritually elevated dimension and that the universe would correct her karmic injustice. No one responded. Within 24 hours, her following dropped by half. We all left the group chat quietly. Daniel never spoke to her again. A week later, he sent a private message to a few of us thanking us for enduring hell and saying he had been looking for a way out for months. He said the meltdown was his moment of clarity, and he walked away without regret. The vendors? They got together in a private Facebook group for local wedding professionals and started warning others. The photographer, who remained classy through it all, posted one photo, a blurred, chaotic shot of an empty aisle, with the caption, "Best decision I ever made was packing my camera early." It went viral. As for Rachel, last I heard she moved to Arizona, changed her Instagram handle to a Healing Bride Vibes, and began marketing herself as a trauma-informed bridal coach for emotionally wounded women. I wish that were satire. It's not. She hasn't spoken to any of us since. And honestly, I'm okay with that.